Hi, my name is Érika, I'm a knitter from Brazil, and you are watching the history of Lançãs, the most important wool selling company in Brazil. Well, to be honest, this video won't be a very detailed account of the history of this company, which I still want to uncover, because I have written to them even, and I have asked to them about their past yarns and other things, because this company, it still exists in Brazil, but now it doesn't sell yarn anymore. It only sells towels and bedspread, like sheets and this kind of things. So I have written to their ombudsman, I don't know, and they didn't have any information to give me. I want to reach to them again, to other sectors, maybe other sectors will have more information, but I also want to research them more deeply. What I will show you today is their publications over the course of 4-5 decades, and how these publications showcase the changes in the fashion, in the yarns used in Brazil, in the way of writing patterns and the sizes offered, and even the side news that they would bring together with the knitting. So I think this will be a nice, interesting landscape vision of the evolution of knitting in Brazil through the lenses of the magazines issued by one single company.
This is the album Lançãs, one of the first publications with multiple patterns in Brazil. It was issued by the yarn company Lançãs, a Sociedade Anônima Moinho Santista, in May 1942. They had some prior to these issues, but it wasn't a serial magazine. They started their publications by promoting some contests of knitting. Here you can see the abbreviations and explanations of the stitches to knit the patterns. See, this is the rules for the contest. You can see the categories they had: dress for women, sweater for men, all that kind of thing. And these little dolls are made with tied yarn and crochet clothes. They also would present several classes of knitting and crochet. Here they are teaching you how to make baby booties step by step, showing everything in the pictures, every step in the pictures. See the ready bootie. Another class here to make a sweat for a little 3-year-old boy. See how tiny the needles are, how dense the fabric. Some more classes, an entire ensemble also for babies. They had a lot of clothes for babies in this album because people use it to knit a lot for their kids. And then they had clothes for women. See the schematics with measurements and stitches. And here are the wools they had and what they were recommended for. I added these to know what I want to do. I want to make this dress. Look, the man here, his coat is knitted, and this mosaic pattern. Her top, very 40s with the puff sleeves. Another mosaic top here with wool, white and blue. See the close-up of the stitch pattern, the little girl. A coat for a kid of 3 years. The word kid is written very different from how we write it today in Brazil. Here is embroidery in wool. Her dress is made in a feather and fan pattern. Here is named a pavão, which is a peacock. This is for makeup. I am pretty sure I saw a similar dress to this by Patons. Not identical, but very similar. Her top here, so cute. With the lace, I want to make this one too. It's tagged here, a dress for the girl with a chart for color work. Oh, this top, it's very interesting. It won one of the contests. See how little is the pattern? It was just a strip of ribbed yarn and then she added the sleeves later. Clothes for kids. Another dress for a woman in seed stitch here. Most of the dresses are composed of one skirt and one top separated, more like a set, an entire set for a teenager girl here to pick up the teapot. See, they had zippered garments here too. I always thought zipper was a very modern thing. Another 40s style top. And their summary, they had 100 patterns there. This is the pattern for the cover sweater, this one, the cable one here. And it came with this advertisement inside. It's for medicine against flu. The other side, a very creepy recipe for a clown cake. I kinda wanna make this clown cake someday, but it's creepy. Now they already started publishing the magazine bi-monthly. See, they sold food too. This is from September and October 1948. The color work in the chest is also a very 40s pattern. You can see the square shoulders here. Her very girlish demure. Color work in the shoulders here. Notice the shape of the bottom, the length of the coats. This is very proper to Brazil, very characteristic to here, this length. Look, the sizes 44 and 46. These are larger than the sizes of English language patterns. Another color work one. Here a lace top, very pretty. The ribbon in the neck, the pattern of the lace, kind of eyelets, very characteristic of that. I would like to knit this one. An okay vest is what I say. That's funny. Not very good vest, but okay. These here, they are just for inspiration. They had their illustrator and he will draw these as ideas for the woman. Maybe I will make some of these into patterns someday. This is again for inspiration. This is fashion from Paris. And this other one is from New York. These, however, they have some sort of a pattern, at least somewhat detailed instructions and these pictures that help people to see the stitches and the stitch patterns. Again, more inspiration. And now these have little blurbs on how to do it, which needles to use, which yarn to use for this. But you have to build the entire garment yourself. The length again, the shape again, always going below the hip line. This kind of reminds me of your Victory jumper, but only in the colors. This is a little poem by a Brazilian famous poet, but it is an advertisement actually for food. All these sweaters with words were also very characteristic from that time. Her sweater says hello in Portuguese. Olá is hello. And again, these are classes, knitting and crochet classes. Here a knitted bib. Food, they teach you how to make pasta and sausages, fish and other things. This little piece is crochet. Advertisement for their own yarns and for makeup product. The name is Torment. I kinda like her sweater, but I would love it more if the background color of the drawing wasn't contrasting. And I don't know if it fits ribbon. It's decay apparently. This is honeycomb from some other project and more propaganda. An emotional support chicken here. Now this is very 50s. You see the cover is already changed. Here they have a picture now and not drawing like the other one. You can see. Very realistic. This is just from 4 years later. They were advertising sewing back then. It's from 1952. You'll notice the 50s styles here. An Elna sewing machine. They start the magazine with a very lengthy coat, very dense. It seems nice. See how the tail is the pattern, but they don't have everything you would like them to have in the instructions, I mean. Her top is very 50s, even in tops. And her, she kind of looks like Marilyn Monroe. She is trying to emulate her, maybe. See the structure here, see? This is very 50s structure. The embellishments and the texture alternating, very 50s. This one also seems to be from a thicker yarn. Yes, okay. And her top, pretty cute too. This is knitted in cotton. This one, it reminds me a little bit of the famous bridge jumper, but the bridge jumper is a little older than this one. Two cardigans, also very characteristic of the 50s in the shape, see? The v-neck, the waistline, the bobbles. And here they bring an entire set for sports with the cap and everything. This is the brim of the cap, and the vest has this duplicate stitch. Everything has a duplicate stitch, I think. I think it is duplicate stitch. Again, 50s evening top with these little bubbles. It seems to be in metallic yarn. And this is the most beautiful pattern from this magazine, maybe from all that I have. Well, maybe not, but I still want to make this. I really want to make this. Again, inspiration here, it's for beachwear. See these patterns ending just below the bust? This one here, you can see English language patterns very similar to these shapes, the halter tops too. People would knit for the beach back then. This is advertisement for fabrics and a homeware section. The name of this text is very interesting. Cats, Knitting and Divorces. I don't know why. Who thinks Brazil doesn't have cold? It's wrong. We have very cold weather and this is a cold for the cold. Again, the suggestions only with the blurb and you should know how to do it yourself. But they are very pretty, don't you think? A vest for men too. Actually, those vests for men, they would look good in a woman, I think. Baby clothes. More baby clothes. You will notice in those 50s that the advertisements got a little wilder for kids. You will notice the propaganda here. It's a new thread, it's cotton. They didn't used to knit so much with cotton here before the 50s. See the loads of men in these propagandas? Here too. Now I have a bunch of issues binded from late 50s and early 60s, but I will only show you the first. Here, Lençóis Santista, that's what they sell today. And it's saying here that they are in a new phase. You can see by the cover that I showed a while before. But many things changed here. The design, you can see the design of the magazine is kind of more modern. Here a lot of homewear crochet. We still have a lot of homewear crochet in Brazil to this day. Thread, cotton thread, Ancora. I think it still exists. It is sold here. They are talking about flipping your dresses with the core. A coat for little girls. The shapes are already different now. Oh, they also use it to talk much about movies back then. Here it's an entire news about movies. These very late 50s hats, and this top is made out of cotton, probably, or maybe linen. Now here they are explaining the smock sewing technique, the close-up, and the step-by-step down here. Her top here, still a very 50s style, the same cap sleeves that are built with the front and the back without knitting the sleeves. Argyle was also a very popular motif in the 50s, as it seems to me. This, they are talking, is it worth it to be a mom? Such a strange thing to be questioned in the 50s, right? But interesting. These are for kids and mothers, this section here. They are showing this Brazilian actor. And these are food recipes. Pão de queijo is very good, you should try it. Baby health stuff and knitting machines. Knitting machines started to appear a lot at this time, in the late 50s. This one is a booklet about the 101 of knit. It costed very cheap, I believe. I don't know, this is old money. Here they are telling about the main yarns. You can see here that many of them are starting to become acrylic or other artificial fibers. The casting on, the stitches, the basic stitches, how to increase the crease. Here the creasing. How to finish your work to cast off. Here is how to pick up stitches, to fix a dropped stitch, to make buttonholes. And this is how to read a knitting pattern, most common abbreviations, and then they are teaching stitch patterns. What is ponto Vitor? Some sort of ribbon? I don't know, I want to test this one. the basket weave, the honeycomb, dropped stitched patterns, cabled patterns, mock cables. Here they bring 6 patterns to train your skills. Shawl, a baby blanket, a dishcloth, and some baby clothes, baby booties, baby pants. The schematics for the pants is here in the other side, up there. And here they are teaching secrets for a perfect finishing. I think it's mattress stitch, which they are demonstrating here. Apparently it appeared in the 60s. This is how to take care of your knit, how to wash it, dry it, iron it, and how to take measurements. And there is this chart with sizes and measurements that was very helpful for me, because sizes in Brazil didn't change that much throughout an entire century. They are teaching how to make sleeves and raglan sleeves. This is Magazine Nina. They kept the Tricô Crochet but changed the name of the magazine. It's from the summer of 1987-1988. You see, it's the same company that makes the yarn. Now I think this is cotton and it's thicker too. Most of the yarns here are thicker, no longer so thin as the true vintage. The tops are kinda cute. I would like to make some of them. I like the blue one there. This dress is kinda nice. I'm not sure about the dropped waist though. They loved their oversized in the 80s. See? This looks like a summer sweat. Many of these tops are very makeable too. This one in particular, I want to make it. Here in the center is where all the patterns are. You can see the chart with measurements, the knitting and crochet stitches, the abbreviations, the kinds of patterns they had here, and then you have the patterns. They are pretty short, but they have schematics. They all share that introductory part. Here we have the patterns we already saw in the first half of the magazine, and the others that are still to come in the other half of the magazine. We will get to them soon enough. Filet crochet pattern here. This is knitting machine, the top and the skirt. And here, notice one thing, all the models, I think there are some, maybe 3, 4, 2, they are all blonde. This is due to the change of the aesthetics in Brazil, the influence of Hollywood. It changed the beauty standards, stuff for babies, boy or girl, they are telling here. And then a little bit of crochet for the table. It's filet crochet, the one we saw.
So I hope you enjoyed to see these magazines. These are not by far the only ones I have. Actually, I wanted to show you my entire collection when I started to film this video, then I saw that it was too much. Even from only this magazine, I think this is the one that I have the most. Magazine Feminino de Trabalhos, Manuais, from the 40s and the 50s. I think I have about 20, maybe more issues, and each of them are full with nice patterns and nice things to show. So I decided I wasn't going to show each of them, at least today, and I would rather make a broad theme that could have an history line and show you something, be relevant. I have also books from several decades. I also have a lot of these from the 80s and 90s. I will be showing this to you in the channel here and there, maybe until the day I will have shown all of them, but always trying to make some sense of what I am telling you in that video, not just by showing what I have or something like that. So I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you stay tuned for the next ones. I hope you subscribe, check out my other videos, check out my series about everything I ever knitted, especially the every vintage knit I ever knitted, because if you are watching this video, I suppose you like vintage knitting, the history of knitting. Feel free to comment, feel free to tell what did you find about these magazines. Did you see anything you would like to knit? which decade pleased you the most, what fun facts you didn't know and you learn out, and what fun facts do you know about the history of knitting in Brazil, if you are Brazilian and are watching this, or the history of knitting in your own country, which I'm always eager to know. So happy knitting until the next one. Bye bye.